What's up, basketball fans? Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, the home for bold predictions, sharp analysis, and that sweet mix of stats and gut instinct that every bettor lives for. It's another night of NBA preseason action, and while these games don't count in the standings, they absolutely count where it matters most, in building that bankroll before the regular season tips off. So let's break down last night's results, look at what worked, what failed, and then dive straight into today's loaded slate with confidence, precision, and a little fire. Yesterday's slips weren't bad at all. In fact, they were more than decent. We nailed some solid winners, even though one team, the Sacramento Kings, broke a lot of hearts last night. We had them on a plus 5.5 handicap, and while we expected a tight contest, they fell 130 to 122, missing that margin by just a few possessions. But still, the overall slate hit nicely. One of the best plays came through clean. Sacramento Kings to record over 112.5 points, and they ended with 122, that's a win. Same thing with Houston Rockets, who absolutely torched their opponents, dropping 140 points when the line we had was just 117.5. Even if you had that bumped up a few points to 123 or 124, it still cleared comfortably. Both of those total point picks were straight cash, and that's the kind of cushion you love to see during preseason. Now, let's talk about the discovery that's been cooking. A sneaky profitable angle that's been showing major potential lately. First points to be scored by type of basket. Whether it's a two-pointer, three-pointer, or free throw, this prop has been golden. Out of 5 games yesterday, we went with first points to be scored by two-pointer, and 4 of the 5 cashed. That's an 80% hit rate. The Heat vs Spurs, two-pointer first, winner. Celtics vs Grizzlies, two-pointer, winner. Rockets vs Jazz, two-pointer, winner. Warriors vs Trail Blazers, two-pointer, winner. The only one that failed, again, Sacramento, because the Raptors hit a three-pointer to start the game. So, one team cost us perfection. 4 out of 5, though, is elite territory. That kind of consistency from a prop line is rare, and it's a goldmine if you play it smart and hedge a few selections. Beyond that, the mainline predictions held up well. We had Houston Rockets moneyline, winner. Golden State Warriors moneyline, winner. Boston Celtics plus 3.5 spread, winner. And yes, as always, my trust in the Celtics paid off. They took down the Grizzlies convincingly, and that plus 3.5 cushion was just a sweet safety net. Again, the Kings game was the outlier, but overall, the night looked strong and profitable. That's how you build momentum heading into the main NBA season: precision, data, and discipline. Now, onto today's slate, where we've got some juicy matchups and even juicier betting value. I've got 3 separate slips lined up. 2 are safer over markets and team total angles, while the third one adds a touch of risk with high reward potential. Let's dive in. Slip 1 starts with 4 games totaling 5 odds, and this one's all about the over market. The numbers are trending that way across the board. Almost every preseason game so far has gone over 220 points, and we're staying on that train. First up, New York Knicks vs Minnesota Timberwolves, over 220.5 including overtime. Both teams have been pushing pace early, and their young rotations are letting it fly from deep. Next, Milwaukee Bucks vs Detroit Pistons, over 217.5. A game where the Bucks' offense should feast against a Pistons team still figuring out defensive rotations. Then, Oklahoma City Thunder vs Charlotte Hornets, over 220.5, and honestly, this one might hit 230 the way the Thunder's backups are scoring in transition. Finally, Chicago Bulls vs Cleveland Cavaliers, over 225.5 including overtime. The Bulls' preseason pace is noticeably faster, and the Cavs' bench scorers are filling it up. Every single one of these totals has strong statistical backing, and the overs have been the safest path so far this week. Now for Slip 2, which has 3 odds and focuses on the first basket market. We're rolling with the trend that's been paying out. First points scored by two-pointer. Across 4 matchups. Knicks vs Timberwolves, Bucks vs Pistons, Thunder vs Hornets, and Bulls vs Cavaliers. Each game we're betting that the first bucket is a two-pointer. It's a simple but effective strategy. Around 80% of NBA opening possessions end in a two-pointer attempt, whether it's a drive, layup, or mid-range jumper. Sure, it's preseason and anything can happen. You might get a three-pointer or a foul shot first, but probability says that more often than not, the first score will come from inside the arc. It's a bit risky, but it's a smart risk. Sometimes that's the edge that makes your night. Finally, slip 3, which brings a mix of totals and team scoring lines, a 3.86 odd play with strong scoring data behind it. Starting with Milwaukee Bucks vs Detroit Pistons, we're taking Bucks over 107.5 including overtime. The Bucks have gone over this mark in every preseason appearance so far, with Giannis' limited minutes still creating efficient scoring. Next, Oklahoma City Thunder vs Charlotte Hornets. We're locking in Thunder over 115.5, meaning we need 116 points. The Thunder's ball movement and offensive depth make this a likely hit. And wrapping it up, Chicago Bulls vs Cleveland Cavaliers. We're taking Cavaliers over 114.5, or 115 points total. Cleveland's offense has quietly been clicking with Darius Garland running point, and their bench scoring has added consistent production. All 3 games point toward high offensive efficiency, perfect conditions for this team total ticket. So that's today's board. 3 slips, plenty of opportunities. Just remember, play smart, stay disciplined, and bet responsibly. You don't have to chase every single pick. Choose the slip that best fits your risk level. Personally, I'm high on the over market and those first point props. That's where I see the biggest edge tonight. The NBA preseason is just warming up, and we're already spotting value where the books are still adjusting. The key is staying ahead of the line movements. Odds shift fast, sometimes within an hour. Get those bets in early before the bookmakers tweak the totals. That's all for today's breakdown. Smash that like button if you're riding with us, drop your favorite pick in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed to Beyond the Box Score for more winning angles every single day. The regular season is almost here, and we're not just watching basketball, we're predicting it, breaking it down, and beating the odds together. Good luck, play smart, and as always, stay locked in.